Initially, the negative publicity did not produce the expected results for the conspirators. No police task team arrived at KwaSizabantu to investigate, and neither were any arrests made. There wasn't even a charge laid or a case opened against Lydia Dube. Realizing that he had no real evidence and that the legal route would therefore not produce the results he desired, a desperate KwaSizabantu took his campaign to another level. He testified about this at the CRL Rights Commission in 2022.
To tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Jim.
And I went to see the National Prosecuting Authority in Pietermaritzburg about the cases that we have opened and why nothing was happening. And when I drove back, I realized that the nice way, the Christian way, is getting me nowhere. I need to go to the media.
He joined hands with Erika Bonman, who like him had left KwaSizabantu almost 30 years ago.
Two of us went to see News24 and Adrian Basson, and because we are getting nowhere with being nice.
In Grief's own words, the main target of his campaign was the restructuring of the mission, and he claimed there were many people willing to help.
There is just no future. I don't see a good future. And if I can call on you, if you guys have the authority at all, please revoke their social licenses, because they are registered as with the Department of Social Services, so that we can close their bank accounts, so that we can force them to start speaking to us. There are so many people that is prepared to help and to restructure.
News24 editor-in-chief Adrian Basson was very interested in what Erika Bonman and KwaSizabantu brought to the table.
In vroeg 2020 en ek kon nie glo dat hierdie plek bestaan in Suid-Afrika nie. Dit voel ongelooflik in die jaar 2020 dat so 'n plek nog bestaan.
Hulle het toe besluit dit gaan artikels wees, daar gaan 'n podcast wees en daar gaan 'n documentary wees.
But Basson seemingly needed more sensation. So Grief, the former missionary, went on a headhunt to find people with old grievances against KwaSizabantu.
And everything will be treated confidentially. There is a huge team of lawyers and advocates available to help. Confidentiality is guaranteed. We are now in those stages where we need you. We need you to come forward. Tell us about human rights abuses. Tell us about labor right abuses, labor issues abuses, any abuses. Tell us. We don't need to always use your name. We don't need to use your story, but we need to know about it. Because we cannot do it, but together we can do it.
Erika Bonman's close friend, Celimpilo Malinga, was introduced to the News24 team. Her contribution to the much-needed sensation was to claim that her parents moved to KwaSizabantu in 1986 because they did not want their children to be exposed to sex education, which she claimed was being introduced in government schools at the time. A simple search on the internet shows that sex education in government schools was in fact only introduced 14 years later in 2000. But why would Celimpilo lie? Was this an attempt to establish the Exodus narrative that KwaSizabantu is a cult, where children are kept clueless about sex, setting them up as easy prey for abuse and manipulation? Celimpilo later also made this same false claim before the CRL Rights Commission while testifying under oath, adding that the mission wanted to lead you blindfolded because they are God themselves. Acting for the camera in the Exodus documentary, Greef claimed that rape was rife at KwaSizabantu.
I know of a large number of ladies that has been raped at Sizabantu, stretching from the 80s.
Really, Kwas? Amanda, a pseudonym used by one of the alleged rape victims, was another of Erica's recruits. Greef confirmed Amanda's true identity to Noseweek as a young woman called Samantha. In the documentary, Samantha claimed she was held against her will and locked up at the mission's hospital for 3 weeks. This is the room and the bed where Samantha slept at the time, sharing the room with other women. She also claimed she was raped here as a spiritual hiding. Just compare this for a moment with a reenactment that News24 showed to create sensation in Exodus. Noseweek journalist Susan Puren, however, revealed that the true story of Samantha's abuse was very different from the false narrative driven by News24. The real abuser was not the mission, but in fact members of the group of disgruntled conspirators who pressurized the fragile Samantha to make a false rape claim. Samantha had initially arrived at the mission in 2017 with psychological challenges. These are 2 emails she sent to the mission in 2020, a year after she made the false rape claim and left. Referring to Lydia Dube and Eunice Ngamu as the aunties, she stated in the first email that the people who had left the mission contacted her.
To help other people, I must tell everyone I was raped. I must help them getting the aunties off the throne.
In the second email, she stated that a woman named Andra had manipulated her into believing that the nightmare she had heard about rape really happened.
One day I said to Auntie Andra that I had a dream that I was raped on the mission. She told me it was not a dream, it really happened, and so they talked each day with me till I gave in and go to the police. I went to the police with ex-KwaSizabantu people pressing me to do it, and I listened and I gave in and I did it. But after they got what they got, they left me, and I know now I listened to the devil. And I'm so sorry. Please, please forgive me. I was told if I ever told the truth, I will be killed.
Interestingly, Piet Botha's wife is called Andra, and the Bothas had left KwaSizabantu a few months before Samantha left. Samantha had also previously stayed with the Bothas in their house at a KwaSizabantu branch. When Noseweek asked Botha about the emails, this was his response.
So wat sê jy van die e-posse? Want sy verwys spesifiek in die e-posse na jou vrou.
Ja, nee, ons weet nie, ons weet nie, het is net vir ons baie vreemd, want my vrou het nooit met Sammy daaroor gepraat. Dis die geloofwaardigheid van wat sy vir jou sê, is iets wat jy maar moet 'n bietjie grou in. En sy is manipulerend. Wat die waarheid is, ek weet nie, ek dink tereg kan jy baie vraagtekens oor haar plaas.
Remember the double-dealing Stanley Saiti? He was instrumental in getting Samantha away from the mission, as these WhatsApp messages to Lydia Dube indicate. According to Samantha, Erica Bornman was also involved in her departure. Not surprisingly then, it was Erica who cancelled Samantha's appointment with the independent panel in 2020, a few hours before she was due to testify about her alleged rape ordeal. This is Anne-Marie, KwaSizabantu's daughter, with her face blurred in Exodus, and using the pseudonym Nelda. She later revealed her true identity on social media. In Exodus, she tells about being sodomized as a 5-year-old while living with her parents at KwaSizabantu. Anna-Marie claimed that she told her parents about the incident 10 years after it happened. Her father then informed the mission's leadership, who called the perpetrator in. She further claimed that the perpetrator admitted and was tearful and said that he could not believe that she recalled what had occurred. Based on this narrative, Anna-Marie then attempted to put the nail in the coffin.
Nothing happened to him. Life continued as normal. That's the thing with KwaSizabantu.
She maintained that it was ridiculous that no one from the leadership reported the matter to the authorities. The pressing question is, if Anna-Marie's claim is true, what prevented her father, KwaSizabantu, from reporting it to the police back then? Also compare her father's very different version of the same story to Noseweek. Shockingly, Greef did not recall the one case that any father would never forget, the rape of his own daughter.
Terwyl jy daar was, of voor hierdie laaste bom nou gebars het, geweet van enige verkrachtings daar? Of het jy dit eers bewus geword met Samantha?
Nee, ek het nie geweet van verkrachtings. So Samantha was die eerste wat ek van weet.
Is een van die slagoffers nie jou dogter nie?
Ja.
Het jy nie daarvan geweet nie?
Dit het ek nie, ja, excuse me. Ja, ek het daarvan geweet, sorry. Ek het.
Yes, Noseweek had to remind Greef that his daughter, Anna-Marie, was one of the alleged rape victims reported by News24.
Yes, sorry. Ek het. Ja, ek sê toch, ek het gewoon vergeet van Anna-Marie se geval, omdat Anna-Marie se geval eindelijk teruggaan, omdat ek dink na 2012, toen daar rond 2012, 2013, ek kan nie onthou nie.
And then Greef said without hesitation that his daughter only remembered her ordeal under hypnosis after the birth of her first child.
En dit het eers aan ons bekend geword, nadat sy geweldige depressie beleef het met haar eerste kind se geboorte.
Ja?
Wat daar op die ou einde verwys het na persoon wat diep pas sielkunde kan toepas. Met ander woorde wat mense regtig amper in 'n hypnotisering en in 'n diep ingaan. Jy praat dan van baie gespesialiseerde psigiatrie.
This was not 10, but around 25 years after the alleged incident.
In 2012, toe sy onthou het julle toe vir KwaSizabantu laat weet?
Ja.
En vir wie spesifiek?
Ons het met 2 persone spesifiek gepraat. Dit was met Arno Stegen en met Friedel Stegen.
En wat het hulle toe gesê?
Arno, dis my swaar, het onmiddellik vir my gesê, die man is dood. Wat kan ons nou doen?
Well, as Mark Twain famously said, if you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. And remembering his fictitious stories was creating a mess for Greef.
But in my case, in my personal case, I know of a large number of ladies that has been raped at Sizabantu, stretching from the 80s till last year. I'm talking about people that came to me for counseling. If I know of so many, how many is there really? What is the real number? I've got no idea.
Nee, ek het nie geweet van verkrachting, so Samantha was die eerste.
I was never aware of it. I was never aware of somebody, for instance, rape.
Nee, ek het nie geweet van verkrachting, so Samantha was die eerste.
I'm talking about people that came to me for counseling. If I know of so many, how many is there really? What is the real number? I've got no idea.
Brilliant work being done by investigative team. Thanks very much.
There is just so much more evidence to demonstrate the false narrative that News24 presented.
To my next question, I mean, are things
Even 2 years after Basson launched Exodus, his media campaign against the mission and its commercial enterprises continued, recapping on the very same allegations and accusations reported since 2020. News24 no longer reminded its readers that these were and still are only allegations. Like in this example in September 2022, where Basson referred to the rot at one of Africa's biggest mission stations. What rot, Adrian? But what about the Exodus rockstar, Erika Bonman? Unfortunately, she was not willing to have her melodramatic narrative tested by credible journalism.
Jy seker jy wil nie nou met my praat nie.
Nee, want ek weet nie waar jy staan en hoe jy staan nie.
Nee, ek staan net ek dink nie 'n joernalis moet iewers staan nie. Ek dink 'n joernalis moet skryf, dis reporting. So ek report wat jy sê, wat ander mense sê.
Ja, nee, ek hoor jou.
We thank God Almighty that even that attack on KwaSizabantu is turning. The light of truth will overcome the darkness. So let us take heart.